In this video, I am joined by the one, the only Mr. Theme Park Wizard. We're talking all about Universal. We're talking Universal Orlando. We'll probably dive into Universal Hollywood, Marvel Superhero Island. We have a lot to discuss today. Big Universal show. Theme Park Wizard up next, OG 55. Mr. Theme Park Wizard is in the house talking. We're going to talk Universal. Big show. Ethan, welcome back, sir.
Welcome back. Nice to have me on again.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, sir. If you can let everybody at home know where they can find you on social media.
Oh, you can find my Theme Park Wizard on YouTube, theme_park_wizard on Instagram, Park Wizard 1 on Twitter, and you can buy my stuff on themeparkwizard.shop. And don't forget, I will always rip you off.
Fantastic. Here we go. There we go. That's it. And you can see down below, subscribe to Theme Park Wizard on YouTube. He does all the great things.
Do that immediately.
Absolutely. Now, I want to ask you, Elon Musk still hasn't given you your old account back, dude, on Twitter?
No, it's gone. But man, I gained so many new followers in the past 24 hours after I posted all that Disneyland Forward stuff. So we're going to make our new one even better than the old one.
Yes. It will rise like the mighty phoenix.
It will rise like Palpatine did from the dead.
Yes, exactly. So let's dive into some Universal. I thought it'd be kind of fun to get all the goodies from you in terms of Universal. There's a lot of updates. They're making all kinds of moves, both in Florida and here in Hollywood. Let's start off with some. Yep. Let's start off with some of those Florida moves, though, right? Like, so they recently announced that was Poseidon's Fury. Is that what closed, or it's going to close?
Closing on May 9th or May 10th. And see, this area was part of the Lost Continent tour, which originally started in massive, like one of the biggest islands out there, right? Yeah, the dueling coasters, the fire and ice coasters, but then those coasters got renamed to be included the Harry Potter area. The Harry Potter area itself took out a chunk of the Lost Continent area. Then the Sinbad show's been closed for a while, so there's only the Mythos restaurant and then the Poseidon's Fury, but then there'll just be the restaurant left. So back in 2020, a rumor is going around that they were looking to retheme that to Zelda.
What?
And then all of a sudden, the COVID happened, and then it came out of COVID and went under a several-month-long refurbishment. It's looking in tip-top shape. Brand new, just opened from it just a few months ago. Tip-top shape. But then, oh boy, Super Nintendo World opened, and Hollywood and Japan, pretty successful. Then the Super Mario Brothers movie came out, and wow, what a coincidence, wink, wink, that a couple days after opening weekend, now Poseidon's Fury is closing after its expensive refurbishment. Interesting stuff there.
There's a saying that I constantly say here on the channel: too many coincidences are not a coincidence. They are making moves. A Zelda Land would be absolutely insanely awesome, dude. Like, that would be if you did a Hyrule or something. I mean, that would be incredible. And it's like, Ethan, do you think that they're going to kind of repurpose Poseidon and maybe the Mythos restaurant in any Zelda Land, or is this going to be like a top to bottom kind of redo?
I feel like it'd be like a half and half. So I think the Mythos restaurant is always very popular. It has, like, I guess a lot of people say it's like one of the best themed restaurants out there. So I feel like they just retheme that, keep the same structure, but retheme, because I think Zelda, I'm not the biggest Zelda knowledge person, but it's what it seems like they have that adventure type of vibe, like kind of the Lost Continent already, kind of like rocky and adventure. So I feel like they just rethemed the restaurant. Then, with the rumor back in 2020, had the other two buildings being demolished with a giant Zelda boat ride that would start off in the water, then all of a sudden would become like Peter Pan, where it would become the boat
What?
would be suspended, then it would drop back into the water. So you'd be like, these
What?
cables will just pick up the boat, and then you'd be flying in the air or something, and then they'd drop you back on into actual water, so like Pirates of the Caribbean and Peter Pan mixed together.
Dude, that's insane. And now that was a legitimate rumor at one time for the Zelda attraction.
Yeah, Universal filed patents for that type of ride system, then canceled them. So I don't know if they'd
Hmm.
bring that back, but it was like it was ready to go. It was very interesting, but it seems like if Zelda does come, some kind of indoor, highly themed boat ride would become either probably demolishing the two other attractions, keeping the land like the aesthetic of the land, demolishing the show buildings of the other attractions and building a brand new one, and just kind of lightly retheming the other parts of the land to make it a Zelda fantasy vibe going on.
That's incredible. And that would be a game changer for Universal because Universal, like Disney, what Disney excels in is that fantasy vibe, like you mentioned, right? That kind of
Mm-hmm.
fairy tale kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
This could be, along with Harry Potter, by the way, this could be an extension of like Universal's take on that fairy tale vibe,
Mm-hmm.
and could possibly bring some people over from the Disney side because now you're dealing with stuff like if people go to Disney, they're into that fantasy stuff,
Mm-hmm.
right? And now some of that is being incorporated into Universal parks. That could bring people over. That's interesting, dude.
And people were wondering, man, Zelda's a good fit for Epic Universe, but oh, then that big plot, which it could be.
Yeah,
But there's two reasons why I think Zelda would be fine, or would come to islands and be fine there. If you take someone did a map, and I guess there's two back of house buildings, backstage buildings behind the rides or the riding attractions. That if you demolish those, the total area of the lost content could be up to 14 acres, which is as big as Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, and
yeah, it's
just
big.
some 6 acres shorter than the expansion pad, the larger one at Epic Universe. Now, they were going to do that for that giant Zelda ride in 2020 and move those. I guess those particular backstage buildings could be. They don't have to be on site, so they're going to move those actually to Epic Universe's backstage area. So they can probably would still do that, and you get a 14-acre land, nice Zelda land. Also, this would open after maybe 2026 or 2027, after Epic Universe opens. So, and it brings up your point that you were making about cannibalization, right?
Right,
This
right.
Zelda area would, I guess, try to mitigate that by having people also come back to Islands of Adventure to visit Zelda instead
Smart.
of just going to Epic Universe. And then that's why I think they're continuing to improve Universal Studios Florida to try to potentially mitigate any cannibalization of all their parks. That way, people have something new to visit in all three of their parks. They're just a giant theme park, brand new one. So I think that's why Zelda is coming to islands and would be a pretty good fit there, so it won't cannibalize their own attendance.
Yeah, no, that's smart. That's smart. It seems like they have a game plan for that cannibalization. Yeah, it makes sense to add it into Eyes of Adventure to sort of bring people back over there. And man, that's interesting, dude. That's super super interesting. And look, you're right. I mean, this theme Zelda would fit into either park. You can fit it into Island of
Mm-hmm.
Adventure. Absolutely. It's an adventurous franchise, but it would also fit in Epic Universe. It's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
Mickey and Minnie Runaway Railway, right? It works in Hollywood Studios. It also works in Toontown. So this franchise
Mm-hmm.
can go either way. They can definitely put it in Island of Adventure first, and then who knows? Like, Universal, they take properties and they reuse them in their parks. Maybe eventually,
Mm-hmm.
even further down the road, we get some other kind of Zelda area in Epic Universe or something, right?
Mm-hmm. Definitely could, and I think that is the plan. At least they're gonna do with Nintendo like they did with Harry Potter, where they have a Harry Potter area in each park. Eventually, Universal Studios Florida probably would get a Nintendo area of some sort. Eventually down the line, so they can do that same Harry Potter thing they're doing, which
You
is
know,
pretty interesting.
it is pretty interesting. Now, obviously, the Super Mario Brothers movie is absolutely crushing the box office right now. It's doing
Crushed it.
It's just a monstrous hit, and I did a review of it like not too long ago on Orange Nerd Show. I actually really love this movie. I thought it was fantastic, and that was really well done. So I'm really happy to see it doing really well. Now, obviously, with the success, it's $1 billion movie. It's gonna hit a billy.
It's so
Absolutely.
close, basically 700 million right now, and it's only like 2 weeks.
And that's without Japan and South Korea.
Hmm.
So it's going to hit a billy for sure. Now, that brings us to Zelda, though, because now I'm sure Universal and Nintendo are looking at like what franchises can we do now in theaters.
Hmm.
This kind of tied to the theme parks too. Like if they do a Zelda movie, it could tie into the Zelda
Hmm.
area and kind of have that synergy that they're having right now. You think that's a
Hmm.
possibility? Is that being rumored?
I think so. I mean, if our own WDW Pro is to believed, he's the one that says a Zelda movie would be next in the NCU, so to speak. So, I wouldn't be surprised if it's already being hastily written right now, or at least looking for writers and fast tracked because yeah, I'm sure they'd want to have this thing open by the time Atlanta opens, like 2026 or so.
Wow.
And you know that I'd be writing that right now, especially because Universal. You talked about it a while, lots very social media focused, right? They're always on social media, looking kind of age group, and all the comments I've seen, not all of them, but a lot of them are like, "Can we get a Zelda movie next? Zelda, Zelda, Zelda." That's all I keep seeing, and you've probably seen them too. Everyone's asking
Oh
for some
yeah.
kind of Zelda movie, so I'm sure they're thinking, "Yeah, Zelda's coming up like yesterday."
Yeah, no, Zelda's coming, and I think that's a great property for them on screen too, because you can utilize some of this new animation style that they utilize for Puss in Boots, right? That kind of
Hmm.
that fairy tale fantasy sort of style. You can utilize that in a Zelda. And Zelda is that franchise is so rich with magic and lore and what have you. You could even do a Zelda trilogy. I mean, the possibilities are endless with that franchise on screen
Hmm.
and in theme parks. So I think it's
Yeah.
going to be a good one for them.
I mean, yes. Look, the Mario Brother movies. Now the animation was gorgeous. Illumination's best animation, right? That they've
Look good.
actually done. Zelda, whoo, wee, yeah, that environment. Just by looking at the covers of the games, you're like, wow, that's a good cover. Like it's just like what it looks and so expansive. The environments. He's always on a hill, just looking over, and I'm like, whoa, this looks like a cool place to explore. Imagine the animation on an
Ooh,
actual like kind of so it's kind of like it's fancy, but it's like kind of real. So I feel like
right,
more real than more like the Mushroom Kingdom's like not real, obviously, but Zelda
right.
could be a real place. Like those mountains could be like an actual real place. Like imagine like whoo, like a Cars Land type of effort with those
Oh yeah.
mountains. Oh, woo wee, that would be mind blowing. Universal's best land by far if they do like a Cars Land Galaxy's Edge detailed level area. Oh, that could be chef's
Oh,
kiss.
you could do. I mean, in all honesty, Ethan, you could do a whole theme park on Zelda. I mean, Zelda has
Hmm.
enough there to work with for sure. So they will absolutely have a pretty cool land on their hands for sure. And the movie too. I mean, this is something that they could really, if done right. I mean, they could really hit gold with this. And even like I mentioned with the theme parks, you could pull away people from Disney with that fantasy element. But same with theaters though. Disney has really cornered the market with these fairy tale storybook kind of stories. But
Hmm.
now with Zelda, you
Ooh,
can do that kind of fairy tale epic story for Universal now too. So that is a game changer, dude. An
I have a
absolute game changer.
question for you,
Sure,
not
sure,
theme park related, but it's a Disney one because I'm curious,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
Moana, right? We're getting a live action remake now. Me included, and everyone else. I mean, I'm down for the live action one, but I was really wanting like a sequel, like an animated sequel to the original one.
Right.
Do you think Disney might look at the Mario numbers and hey, wow, people still really like animation? Maybe kind of revert that to a Moana animated sequel instead of a
Oh.
live action one.
I think that would be a much smarter move, Ethan, to be honest with you. I think that the live action remake gimmick, and yes, it is a gimmick, I think it's run its course. I really do. And Yeah, I think it's a huge possibility. Especially, we have to see too, how does Little Mermaid perform? So if the Little
Oh
Mermaid
yeah,
comes
that
out,
too.
right? If Mermaid comes out and it flops, then I think they might rethink the Moana live action. They might go, okay, like yeah, animation is back with Super Mario. Maybe we'll do Moana too. You know, I think
Hmm.
that's a smarter move. I really do. They're already doing Frozen 3. They got
Hmm.
Zootopia 2 coming out. I would just go all in and just do Moana 2. Why are you going to do a remake? I don't. It makes no sense to me, right? It's weird.
Yeah, it's and again, the movie's not even that old. I mean, it's less than 10 years old. And I also know Peter Pan and Wendy that's going to Disney Plus, but still a live action remake of something if that gets poorly reviewed. Can't I guess can't bomb, but it gets poorly reviewed. Maybe
Yeah.
they'll look at that Mermaid. And also, I've seen comments again. Everyone's asking why don't they show a Moana sequel to the movie? I'm like, I agree, but maybe they'll change their minds. I mean, The Rock can still be in it. Obviously, he's Maui. He doesn't have to show his face. He did a pretty good job. I, I don't know. It's a weird decision for me. That I'm okay with either one, but still kind of weird how they did, especially when you said, and did Zootopia 2, Frozen 3, but Moana gets the live action one. Weird.
Really, really strange decision. And I can kind of understand dipping into like the nostalgia well when it comes to like maybe Mermaid or maybe Beauty and the Beast or Aladdin. These movies are 30 years old.
Yeah, and
Moana's
I
not even a decade old. It's brand new.
yeah, like I mean, Frozen's older, but they're getting a sequel, like an anime, and three, like weird.
It's really bizarre. It's a weird decision. Absolutely. Now, speaking of Disney and speaking of Universal, Marvel Superhero Island. Now, Puck News, which is
Oh,
right, Puck News is a big outlet. I mean, it's run by
mhm,
Matthew Bellani, or he's a contributor on
mhm,
that website. And he was reporting, or his website Puck was reporting, that Disney is working on selling Hulu or their remaining share to Comcast. And part of that deal would also be getting the theme park rights east of the Mississippi for Marvel. If that
mhm.
happens, that's a game change for both companies. Um, what does that mean for, because this is our Universal show, what does that mean for Universal? What does that mean for Marvel Island? Have you heard any rumors, Ethan, about what would maybe replace Marvel over there if that happens?
I haven't, but I had an idea. And I was telling Dre on the phone just before this podcast here. I was, you can look right over to Universal Studios Japan, right? What are they doing over there with their own Spider-Man ride? They're retheming it to Pokemon. So why not expand on that idea? Take Marvel Superhero Island, retheme the Spider-Man ride, and make the whole area Pokemon area.
That
Wow,
would be
sure
cool.
you'd have two Nintendo type areas in the same park, but I think that'd be pretty cool. Since
Yeah.
again, especially since you're already doing it in Japan, you already have a blueprint. It'd be relatively cheap, right? Reskinning something, and they can either someone Dre he mentioned retheming the Hulk ride to Charizard, right? Pretty easy, just put orange paint on there and call it. But I had the idea of maybe having kind of taking the Diagon Alley approach and maybe putting a statue of Charizard on like top of the launch hill, and every time a train launches, he like breathes fire or something. Like that would be
Cool.
pretty cool. Like I think that's a way to go because you're already doing it somewhere else, kind of. You expand on the idea, and I don't know if that deal with Disney would have to say, all right, you have been told this year to get rid of any Marvel references in your park. And if they did, then they can quickly just repaint stuff and quickly retheme things instead of, doing this elaborate land that would take longer if they had a deadline to make. So I'd hope Pokemon would go over there, but I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, Pokemon would be a good brand, a good franchise for that area. I mean, and like you said, there would be two Nintendo things in that park then, but that really wouldn't matter too much because Nintendo, the properties within Nintendo are so vast and so unique. Like if
Yeah.
you look at the difference between Mario and Zelda, it's
Oh,
completely two
night
different
and
things.
day.
Night and day, right? And then you have something between Zelda and Pokemon, again, night and day. So there's enough variety in what Nintendo offers that I think you could pull off multiple Nintendo properties in one park, and it would still feel like there's a lot of variety.
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon, huge. I mean, that's one of the biggest properties in the world.
Whew. Yeah, that, and then if they add interactive like experiences in that area, that would actually be beneficial. I think for not only Disney, right? They have Marvel, but I think it would be beneficial for Islands of Adventure itself because as we've said many times in the past, currently they're stuck. That Marvel Land can't put a new ride there, but and you can't let it deteriorate. You have to keep repainting it, but you can't really do anything with it because you don't. Disney owns the Marvel brand, so they can't expand it. So Pokemon or anything else would be beneficial to both parks, both companies. So I hope it does happen.
Yeah, yeah, it looks like it might. It looks like it might. When for those at home that are not familiar with Puck News, very credible, outlet. I mean, Matt Bellani is very much an insider. He's an entertainment attorney. He's friends with all these people. He's talked many times in the past how he's had lunches with Bob Iger. So he's very connected, and for them to report on that the Marvel theme park rights, on Puck, that's when I was like, wait a minute. Okay, if he's reporting on it, it's definitely at least being negotiated and talked about internally. So we'll see if it actually happens.
Bob Iger's shareholder comments on the meeting.
Right.
He didn't say no. He just said, you'll have to wait and see.
Yes, it's like a wink and like, hey, stay tuned, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's fascinating. So now let's go over to Universal Studios Hollywood. We're California guys, right? Let's talk a little.
Yeah. West Coast. Where is it? Where's the drop?
Oh, here, you want a little West Coast? Hold on one sec. I got it. Give me a second, Ethan. I will definitely. Here we go. West Coast.
Now let me welcome everybody to the Wild Wild West.
There we go. One more time for good measure.
Now let me welcome everybody to the Wild Wild West.
There we go. We're going at Universal Studios Hollywood. Now, what is your update for us in regards to Universal Studios Hollywood? Stuff you can share. I know you have sources and stuff. I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but what you can share with the audience in regards to that part.
Wow, so much cool stuff happening. We have the plaza is going under nice renovation, opening in May because permits verify that the grad bash is happening starting May 12th. So by then the plaza will have to be open, and might include a nice new stage because if you see on the website, they tease the animal actors coming back and they put it in the production plaza area. So that'd be a nice little stage in there. We'll have to see what it looks like. Every time we peek through, it's just see all these construction vehicles, so you can't really see much. But I'm very interesting because in a couple of weeks should be unveiled, which is great. And have a nice summer show. Over in Hogwarts, the Death Eaters are coming back for the summertime. That's right, the summertime. Not just during Halloween Horror Nights, we got the summertime. Super cool because we've been missing out on that for a while. And then Demolition should be coming super, super soon for the highly anticipated Fast and Furious coaster that has been delayed a slight bit, maybe opening in 2025 instead of 2024. But it will be quite a doozy. It might include more than you initially anticipated in that coaster. Maybe not in terms of theming, but maybe longer than you thought, which is pretty interesting. Nothing new on the Nintendo front though, but there's some kind of Nintendo expansion should be coming soon because those stores or those shelves are quite empty.
The Nintendo merch is pretty tight. Actually, you can see here. Hold on, right here. I got my little mushrooms right there, and I got the sipper, and I can't get that now, but I got a few shirts. So yeah, I mean, honestly, like I was actually when I was at Nintendo World, I was actually very impressed by the merchandise. There was a lot there that I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. Did you buy a lot of merch, Ethan? Have you been?
Gosh, I can't stop buying the merch, and I don't know where to put it all. But they come out with really cool shirts. Like there's the shirt. I'm a simple kind of guy, so I bought that has the Land's logo and just like a black shirt.
Cool.
Like, I don't like that, I don't know, stuff that's on the shirts that are just too busy. I'm like, I kind of stay away from those. But the little
Yeah.
simple plastic ones, love them. The popcorn buckets, I don't even use. I even like popcorn buckets, but I had to get both because they look so cool. I was like, oh wow, that's a pretty cool popcorn bucket. And then what else do I have? I think it's just a couple of shirts.
And you
But
got
yeah,
the power band, right? You got a power band.
power band. Oh, the golden power band mushroom has appeared in the land. So if you want the golden power band mushroom, it's only in Japan and right here, which is a pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool. There's more new merch every single time I go. They come up with something new. So stay tuned. Keep looking because and get it fast because it goes away. Yoshi's very popular. I didn't know Yoshi was such a
Really?
popular character. All his merchandise is gone. Like his shelves, they're waiting on. They're mostly waiting on a new order from Japan because every time I go, that one time I went, I saw all these Yoshi hats. Like every fifth person in the party had a Yoshi hat. And I looked, saw a team member with 2 armfuls of Yoshi plushes trying to restock the shelves, and then came back next. All of Yoshi was gone. I'm like, oh, okay.
Wow. Now, what does that mean for, because, okay, so we didn't get the Yoshi People Mover attraction out here.
Mhm.
Now, do you think Universal's looking at those Yoshi merch sales going, well, maybe we should add a Yoshi ride in this land because it seems to be kind of a banger character. Everyone seems to love Yoshi.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, man, when I saw it, I was like, whoa, gosh, Yoshi, Yoshi doesn't have a ride here, but boy, he's well loved. I think whatever Nintendo expansion we get, even if it's just a meet and greet, I feel like we'll have to get something Yoshi more substantial. Should be coming because I mean I know Universal's looking at his merch sales because he's just gone,
Gone.
gone. But
That's,
yes, I definitely think we'll get something Yoshi, even if he's just featured in something more substantially than we are right now.
you mean people love Yoshi? I wouldn't know.
Oh, look at that! See, Yoshi Power Band. You know what? I'm gonna use some Yoshi merch when it returns.
Yoshi. Now, I have a question for you. So we have a friend, a mutual friend, Universal Core, right? And he reported, I don't know, maybe like a month ago now, that rumor, this is a rumor, but he was reporting that he's hearing that there's going to be kind of a rebranding of Universal Hollywood. They're going to make it more a resort, like Universal Hollywood Resort, and include some resort hotels, which we reported on, all of us together recently. Any movement in that direction in regards to any of that stuff?
I've been looking each day and asking around, but nothing yet on the hotels. Very interestingly enough, I'm looking for permits or anything. Nothing, no concept art, nothing. But hopefully, the last I heard about the hotels, they want one of them open by 2026.
Okay,
So
pretty soon.
that means they would have to at least start by next year. It takes a couple of years to build, at least 2. So at least start by next year to make that 2026 if that stays the plan. No hotel. You'd think, with Halloween Horror Nights, can do some packages there, right? Nintendo World, people might want to stay a couple days and spend majority of their day one at Nintendo, then spend a second day at the rest of the theme park. You'd think there would be more of a push to kind of fast track those things, but again, it doesn't seem like it. I'm trying. I really. Oh, you know how nice it would be to have a hotel right at the front gate like that. Wow.
That would be pretty incredible, and that would really that would solidify the Universal Hollywood park as a destination. Now it can compete with the Disneyland Resort. Now you have themed hotels there, and then like you've come on the channel many times. You do great work on your own channel, Ethan, about all the new stuff that's coming to that park. They're going to spend like $1 billion or something to pump. They're going to pump $1 billion into that park, so it's going to grow with the theme park, and they're going to add hotels. So this is going to be a game changer, and it's going to really turn, I think, that Universal property into a true resort, which is interesting, dude. Because right now it's always been seen as sort of like the studio park, but once you get those hotels in there and you expand the theme parks and you move those sound stages, now you're getting into some real territory here in terms of like resort mindsets, right?
Yeah, and maybe so the NBC campus that they're building is looking to be open this year. Maybe once those cranes come down and those crews are freed up, maybe then they'll start construction on the hotel. I don't know, but it still needs to come because a lot of focus on the lower lot. You got the Nintendo World, the campus, a lot of permits about refrigerators, but there's still permits on building 3315, which happens to be the Mummy building. Now
Uh-oh.
let me show you a map. Let's see here.
Okay, let's do it. We're gonna dive right in on the fly.
Let's turn all of you into planners for a second.
Let's do it.
Let's see. Ooh, watch this.
Check it out.
So here's our. Hold on, let me make sure. I have the, boop, there you go. Zoom in. There you go. Right there. Bam. Boom.
And I'll share your screen whenever you're ready.
Back though and right. Ready.
Boom.
Yeah. So here's a map. You can find this. It's no secret. You can find it on any government website. Just type in NBC Universal map. So a lot of permits here for this building right here, 3315, which is coded as Revenge of the Mummy. For refrigerators, apparently it's a multi-use building. So the coaster is like right here, this section, then this back portion. I guess they store refrigerators because that's what they're moving refrigerators in and out of this building. They're doing some kind of renovation project. Why? I don't know, but I find it very interesting because over the past 2 weeks, at least 20 permits have been filed about these refrigerators. Now, in this particular section is where the Halloween Horror Nights maze has always been. Usually, they start with the Curious George mazes, building those, and then they go to the Mummy and the back over here, and this everything that's kind of doesn't disrupt the guest flow first, and then they do the Parisian Courtyard and the Water World last. So far, all the other mazes besides this one and Waterworld are under construction. Now, permits were filed to start this maze on Friday. I'm going to be there tomorrow to see if they actually started. But it's interesting they started late this year. And maybe I think it was because they're doing the refrigerator stuff. It's just very interesting what's happened here with this Mummy building. I don't know. I do know it's not supposed to be in the long-term plans for the whole Rosa Park. So I don't know if we're getting some movement here. Heard some reports that maybe it closes at the end of the year or in the summertime of next year. So I don't know, but there's certainly something's moving here. I don't know if they're preparing, right, getting those refrigerators gone. But there's tons of permits for 3315 here. I'll be keeping a close eye on this one because this, and then there's on the ET parking structure right over here. There's which is it's over here. Right there's Curious George. When the basement here, there's the ET garage. The basement of the ET garage, there's the basement's where they held the Super Nintendo World, the staging area. You'd see pieces of Bowser's head and stuff like right there as they repaired and installed it. Now they did permits were issued and approved for a 6-week construction project, like to prepare this area for something. But Nintendo's done, and I went down there when there's Nintendo. They have the green construction fencing blocking off a portion of the parking. And there's kind of old, had the holes in it. So, but I went down there last week, and there's brand new construction fencing, nice and black, and can't see through it. They're doing something over there for 6 weeks to prepare it. I think this is going to be the staging area for Fast and Furious track.
Oh.
Which might be coming soon. Not sure. I can't say for sure, but I talked to someone else, and they may think the same as well, because that is only because of previous evidence of the staging area for Nintendo. There's nothing else really big they're working on, at least that we know of. And there's no other, they don't really use this for anything else besides that, so I find it very interesting that they're working on these two spots in the Mummy. I don't know. Something's a brewing.
Something is a brewing. And speaking of a brewing, what do you think is going to happen with the Simpsons area? Because there's been a lot of talks about that as well, right?
You know, the Simpsons area, right over here in Springfield. Uh let's see here. In the Fast and Furious concept art, you don't see um you don't see any Simpsons theming in this particular area. Um, so I heard that the Simpsons area will the Springfield area will close this year. The Simpsons ride may wait till next year, but the Simpsons Springfield may get rethemed this year, which would make sense because you know if the Fast and Furious entrance is right over here, then all of a sudden you have Welcome to Springfield right by the Hollywood Drift sign. It'd be a little bit jarring to have such a different IP. So I think this will be a generic LA type street, at least this first half up to the escalator, which is right over there. And to kind of fit in with Fast and Furious. And then The Simpsons probably close next year or sometime in the future. And not sure what will replace it though. That one keeps flipping around. I'm not sure what they want to do with that, but I just know Springfield is likely, or portions of it, will likely be rethemed later on this year.
That's interesting.
Fast and Furious stuff.
Now, I know the rumor for a while, or at least at one point, was that maybe we would get like a classic Monsters area to replace the Simpsons ride.
See, yeah, and that would be pretty cool. I heard the monsters are coming, or are supposed to be, but so many different locations. I heard Lower Lot behind Mummy, or maybe Lower
Okay.
Lot with Mummy. I've heard Upper Lot. No, have I heard Upper Lot? Yes, Upper Lot, but by Waterworld. That's an interesting location.
That's
And
wild.
then so, like different locations. I haven't heard The Simpsons, but I wouldn't be shocked. All I do know is whatever happens, they're likely will demolish the Simpsons building because it has significant structural issues. Well, not significant enough that you can't write it, but significant enough that it would be very costly to renovate it and much easier to just destroy it. So I don't know. I think I know someone. It's not a rumor, but someone floated an idea of just an action area, right? So you put like demolishes, put the Bourne show here. Then you have Fast and Furious and Bourne, and it'd be like like an action zone or something, action land. I was like,
That's pretty cool.
well, that makes sense because action. But the monsters, I did hear them, but I don't know where they would be popping on here.
That's wild. That's wild. Yeah, that's interesting that they're kind of the monsters. They want to put it in this park, but they don't really know. It could be Waterworld, could be Simpsons, could be a Lower Lot, could be. That's wild, man. There's a lot going on here in Hollywood. I think Comcast is really starting to see the potential here in California.
Now let me welcome everybody to the Wild Wild West.
Right? They see the potential here in California, and I think they want to be more competitive out here. They're very competitive in Florida, and I think they want to bring some of that success out here to Hollywood. So something to keep your eye on.
I like your idea, OG. You're gonna buy up some land over by Palm Springs, like Disney with Cotina.
Yes.
Epic Universe West Coast, or even an island, at least an Islands of Adventure West Coast. I drive over there.
Oh, dude, I would be all about that. I would definitely get an AP for that. I would love to see Universal kind of try their hand out here in California with a real traditional kind of theme park kind of resort. That would be phenomenal. But yeah,
if Epic Universe works out, maybe they'll think about something like that over here.
Well, maybe because look at Universal has shown now that they're willing to sort of branch out. We're getting the Texas Park in Frisco. We're getting the Las Vegas Halloween Horror Nights, and I thought there was a rumor of a Northern California something coming or other, like a kiddie thing in Northern Cali.
Yeah, maybe one of those parks. I definitely know those regional parks they want to do like all over the country, so they'll be in different spots for sure.
Yeah, so maybe we get like
Epic
Universe. Maybe we do get like an Epic Universe somewhere here in California. That'd be so dope.
You know, and it makes sense because I mean, sure you want some people to stay at it, but you know, a lot of us, you know, California very different than Florida in terms of the markets, right?
Yeah.
A lot of us here. You have 25 million people around in the Southern California area. Everyone's driving everywhere, so Epic Universe or the Epic Universe West, right, wouldn't have to rely so much on tourists, like in terms of the hotel rooms and stuff. But I'm sure a lot of people would be willing to just take a day trip, drive, come back at nighttime, you know, and because there's just so many people that already live here, it's like a you have your base audience is already huge, and then
Yeah.
you have the additional tourist stuff. So I don't. That's another reason I don't think the separation of the parks is like maddening. You know, it's like not like Disney World where
Right.
I'm flying in or Orlando and flying in. You kind of want to be on property because you don't have a car. You're flying in here. A lot of people are residents. They don't. I'm sure that they wouldn't mind driving Epic Universe and another day Hollywood. I think it'll work out pretty well over here if they decide to do something. And even Disney, if Disney wanted to do something kind of separate from the Disneyland Resort, you know, some kind of, even if it's not a theme park, just entertainment something.
Right.
You know, especially if Cotina works out, maybe Disney does some smaller family, a smaller like horror night, not horror nights, but like that type of smaller entertainment, like 200,000 square feet things somewhere away from the actual theme park, but in the
Right.
LA area people can go to, like Disney Quest, but like an updated Disney Quest. I think those
Exactly.
will work out.
Exactly. Sometimes that ancillary stuff works out. Like the cruise lines are kind of that. They're themed entertainment, but they're not the parks. They're kind of this ancillary separate thing,
Mhm.
and they really worked out. Maybe one day Universal will get into that too. I mean, imagine a
Oh boy,
Universal cruise.
Universal Cruise Line, Universal Monsters Cruise, where
Oh
they come, monsters come and wake you up at night and go boo.
yeah. You have raptors scratching at your door. You know.
Shoo! And there's that little raptor pen. You have themed blue comes barks at you every night. That'd be funny.
That would be fantastic. But we'll see. It's an interesting time right now for theme parks in general. But Mr. Wizard, I want to thank you so much, brother, for coming on talking Universal with me. If you can remind everybody at home know where they can find you on social media, sir.
You can find me right here on Theme Park Wizard. You can find me on Instagram theme_park_wizard, on Twitter parkwizard1, and buy my stuff on themeparkwizard.shop. I'll definitely rip you off. And guess what? Catch me sometime soon on OG55 to talk some Disneyland forward.
Oh yeah, that's it. We got a big show coming up. We're gonna get Wizard. We're gonna get Vash Sky, Disney Family Man, and we're gonna try to get theme park casual as well, and just talk all about this Disneyland forward thing. Ethan and Casual were actually at the event, and they got all kinds of cool information. Check out Wizards. Actually, check out his Twitter. He was kind of live tweeting.
Man,
Yes.
as Rebecca, great CM by the way. Wow, the only one there, but she knew her stuff. As she was talking, I was like, hold on. Send, boom, send. I was like, oh wait, what'd you say? Boom, boom, send. And I kept picking her with as many questions as I can get. And she was, she works for government affairs, so she's very diplomatical and sometimes, went around the answer. And I'm like, I see what she did there.
Yeah, she's good. She knows what she's doing. But you had phenomenal coverage. You were crushing it yesterday, Ethan. And so definitely check his Twitter out. And we will be doing that video with him and the crew very, very soon. So we're going to close out the show.
It's been an honor serving with you all.
And I want to thank you all for watching OG55. And I want to thank Ethan for coming on and talking shop with us. Comment down below with all your thoughts of the current situation at Universal, Zelda, all the good stuff we talked about, Fast and Furious, The Simpsons Land, everything. Comment down below. We would love to hear from you. Subscribe to this man on YouTube. And as always, have a wonderful, wonderful day.